The jumbo jet that vanished 48 hours ago continues to be a huge mystery. A primary focus will be to locate the flight recorders. Earlier, I talked to Mary Schiavo, a former inspector general with the U.S. Department of Transportation, about that.
You search the ocean through this grid, and it's coordinated, it's closely coordinated because you want to make sure that you don't miss anything. And then also the Navy, particularly the submersibles, will be looking for and listening for the pingers from the black boxes, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder. They give off an audible sound. They're powered by a battery. The battery lasts for about a month. So they want to get it before the seawater takes its toll.
All right, aviation reporter Clive Irving says we shouldn't have to wait that long. Clive joins me now. He's a contributor to the Daily Beast and senior consulting editor for Condé Nast Traveler. So, Clive, you say this technology is actually antiquated. Why? By what other means will there be to locate, if not the ping device?
Well, this is a very serious accident with a large loss of life, and I think it's amazing that today we still rely on a principle and a system which was devised in the 1960s when there was no alternative to it. And the principle is very simple. It's the crucial evidence all goes down with the plane, and then you go out and try to find the so-called black box, the flight recorder. And we all live in a very digital world today. We have numerous digital devices that we use every day, and it's technically a relatively simple thing to have live real-time transmissions from a plane, which the plane, while it's in the air, the airplane is monitoring its own systems. It's like a person is monitoring their own heartbeat and their own systems. All that information about what's happening to the plane is being collected as the plane is flying. The problem is it's not getting from the plane to anywhere else. And my argument is that it should now be necessary to end this very difficult search situation that we face with this crash. If that information were being transmitted all the time the plane was in the air, as soon as it disappeared, we would know two things. We'd know where it was when it disappeared. We don't even know that yet. And we'd know if there was anything going wrong with the plane before that happened.
So just so I understand you correctly, you're saying that once this crash is resolved or investigated, there should be other means in which we should be able to locate aircraft. But for now, this is the primary or a primary tool in which to locate any remnants of this craft, right?
Yeah, the whole purpose of this operation now is not to find anything other. The priority here is not to find anything other than those flight recorders. And I've heard no mention so far, for example, of a sonar beacon being part of this. A sonar beacon is a thing that drops into the ocean with the plane and transmits for about 30 days to tell searchers where it is. But the problem with that idea is that if the plane, and the mystery about this crash is it happened instantaneously without any chance for the crew to communicate there was anything wrong. So if it happened in that way, and the plane broke up at 36,000 feet, all the parts of it could be scattered over an extremely wide area. We're not talking about finding it in one place. We're talking about wreckage which could be strewn over a very large area, and part of that wreckage will be the sonar beacon and the flight recorders.
So why hasn't better technology come about thus far?
Well, I think the priority has always been given to, for example, the entertainment in the cabin, and we're soon going to be making cell phone calls from cabins. I think that it should have been made apparent long ago that, for example, there was a serious crash of the Air France Flight 447 in the South Atlantic several years ago. And by pure chance, that plane had transmitted 24 so-called fault messages to the maintenance base. So a maintenance engineer in Paris looked at this sheet of paper and realized that there was something going wrong with this plane before it disappeared. It turned out, in fact, that those fault messages were a very clear indication of what was happening to that plane. It was losing its flight control system. That was pure chance. In the case of I think you don't have to do this with every plane flying over land, but I think the priority should be given to planes that fly long distances over water.